Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your Just for Today in a meditation for June the 21st. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. The title of today's meditation is New Levels of Honesty. New Levels of Honesty. We have been experts at self-deception and rationalization. That comes from the basic text, page 28. When we come to our first meeting and hear that we must be honest, we may think, well, now, that shouldn't be too difficult. All I have to do is stop lying. To some of us, this comes easily. We no longer have to lie to our employers about our absence from work. We no longer have to lie to our families about where we were the night before. But not using drugs anymore, we find we have less to lie about. Some of us may have difficulty even with this kind of honesty. But at least learning not to lie is simple. Just don't do it, no matter what. With courage, determined practice, the support of our fellow NA members, and the help of our higher power, most of us eventually succeed at this kind of honesty. Honesty, though, means more than just not lying. The kind of honesty that is truly indispensable in recovery is self-honesty, which is neither easy nor simple to achieve. In our addiction, we created a storm of self-deception and rationalization, a whirlwind of lies in which the small, quiet voice of self-honesty could not be heard. To become honest with ourselves, we first must stop lying to ourselves. In our 11-step meditations, we must become quiet. Then, in the resulting stillness, we must listen for truth. When we become silent, self-honesty will be there for us to find. Just for today, I will be quiet and still, listening for the voice of truth within myself. I will honor the truth I find. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. That is a powerful meditation, and I'm very grateful for it. New levels of honesty. I appreciate anything that removes the uncommonness, maybe, of situations, or normalizes is what I'm looking for. The word normalizes. Anything that normalizes human behavior so that others can come away from feeling unique, or the thinking that they themselves are the only ones that ever does this. I love anything that normalizes life. And this normalizes dishonesty in the sense of honesty with oneself. So it makes the point that there's different types of honesty. that we learn that we can become, honest in, different areas that we can become honest in, meaning we don't have to lie to our employers, we don't have to lie to our families. We begin to learn that honesty builds relationships, it doesn't tear it down, right? It's the self dishonesty that tears down relationships. And so, what we learn here is that it's very common for people to come into the fellowship and be like, okay, I just won't lie about that anymore. Except for when they start to get into the step work and find out now this is about yourself. This is about self honesty. This is about recovering yourself. And that goes much deeper than just not lying about why you didn't go to work. There are a lot of people that are dishonest with themselves. There's a lot of people that deflect the light from being shined or shown, rather, shined, shown on themselves. So that they can look at other people's situation or make other people think that they have everything going well for themselves, but they don't. So let's deflect a little bit. Let's look at so and so. Let's look at that situation. Let's talk about that. Let's gossip about that. But in reality, this is not uncommon. This is a normal human behavior to want to look good in front of others, to want to share only the good things, not disclose those less than beautiful things about ourselves. It's very normal. So I appreciate this meditation because it takes away that feeling that, man, so I have self dishonesty. I'm dishonest with myself. That's horrible. It takes that away, that it takes that condemnation off of the table. And it just says, now that we know we do it, let's work on not doing it. Let's practice self honesty. And one of the ways that it suggests that we do it is through meditation, through our step 11, prayer and meditation, where we're quieting ourselves and we're allowing ourselves to have some time to get an overview of what we're working with, what is going on within us, right? That stillness, in that stillness, a person can become aware of their traits, their behaviors, the things they've done, the things that they should do. They become aware of the darkness within themselves as well as the light within themselves. This is a step 11, that after you've done everything else, and you've gotten really good at making prompt amends on a daily basis, right? Taking that personal inventory. And step 10, after you've done 1 through 10, after you've done all of that work, this is the step that helps normalize life for you and allows you to see and to know what you need to change and what you don't need to change. And it gives you the power to actually do the things that you're supposed to be doing. And one of the things we should be doing is getting better every day. My name is Mighty Stream. I enjoyed talking to you. I could talk about this particular meditation for a long time. However, there's other things that I need to take care of this morning. But I wanted to spend this time with you, and I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose, that you will consider this meditation in a manner that is helpful to you, and start to consider it. Hopefully, this meditation is removing that stigma about meditation. There's many different forms of meditation, but the very first form of meditation that we as humans have ever been given is that connectedness to God, the ability to pray and meditate and hear from our higher power what His will is for us and what we need to do and the power to carry that out. That is something that came with our humanity, with just being a human being. Unfortunately, what has happened, we've gotten so far away from that, and we've placed all these other labels on it. This maintaining conscious contact with a God of our own understanding, we've put all these nasty labels on just that alone. That there's there's a great possibility that a lot of the problems we see in the world today are a direct result of people steering away from prayer and meditation instead of being drawn to it, because there's all of these labels that have been attached to it. And if they don't know that this is a natural part of being a human, to pray and meditate, it takes effort, but in reality, it doesn't take that much effort. It takes effort today, but in reality, it was the foremost thing that anyone ever did, was to maintain conscious contact through prayer and meditation with God. That was a given. But because of all these labels, people avoid it. And as they avoid it, their dependency on self becomes greater. Their dependency on one another becomes greater. And it's pretty much difficult for two individuals that know very little about science, let's say, to be able to sit down and come up with a formula that is going to be used as helpful to the world, because they know very little about that field. So what am I saying? I'm saying that we're in this world today functioning without the most basic human need and capability, which deprives us of the power, the knowledge and the power to stay on track and do the things I personally am called to do, right? And so you have a bunch of people running around self-willing. To get right down to it, that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are just pursuing their own self-will and using their own self-will, own power to do the things they think they ought to be doing. And they're not connected to a higher power or to God, even to love. Love can be, where I was raised, I was taught that God is love. So love can be that greater force when people aren't connected to that. Everything is about ourselves. And I believe that's the dismal of the world that we see today. So today, what I really want for you to do And like I said, I could talk about this forever, but I have other things to do. And I've already added a whole nother 5 minutes to this podcast, just explaining that it is natural for people, human beings, to have a connectedness to their source. Don't be afraid of prayer and meditation. Figure it out and watch your life become great or greater than it already is. It's very refreshing. My name is Mighty Stream, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose.